Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's so good to see you again. Whether you've been following me for a while or you're new here, thank you for joining today's session. I'm really excited about what we're going to do together, because this one is designed especially for advanced English learners who want to take their fluency to the next level, in a way that feels modern, natural, and real for 2025. Now, before we dive in, I want you to imagine something. You're sitting in a cafe, maybe somewhere in London, New York, or Sydney. You hear people around you chatting, quickly, smoothly, effortlessly, and you think, wow, I understand what they're saying, but I wish I could sound like that too. Well, that's exactly what today's practice is all about. This 1-hour advanced English listening practice is going to help you not just understand native speakers, but actually think and speak like one. You see, learning English in 2025 isn't just about memorizing grammar rules or repeating textbook phrases. It's about communication. Real, human communication. It's about how people actually talk in the real world. The tone they use, the rhythm in their speech, the tiny pauses that make their sentences sound natural. And the good news, you can train yourself to do that too. You just need the right kind of listening practice, the kind that pushes you just a little outside your comfort zone, but keeps you motivated and inspired. So, here's what I want you to do as you listen today. Don't just sit back and let the words wash over you. Be active, be present. Every time you hear something interesting, a phrase, an expression, or a pronunciation you like, try to repeat it. Don't worry about making mistakes. That's part of the learning process. The more you engage with what you hear, the faster your brain adapts. Think of it this way. When you were a child learning your first language, you didn't learn by memorizing grammar charts, right? You learned by listening. You listened to how people spoke around you. You heard their rhythm, their intonation, their emotion. You repeated what you heard, sometimes correctly, sometimes not, but eventually, it became natural. That's the same approach we're taking here today. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this practice different from other English listening exercises out there? Well, most listening practices focus on understanding words, but this one goes deeper. It's not just about hearing English, it's about feeling it. You'll be listening to real-life examples that reflect how people actually communicate in 2025, with all the slang, expressions, and fast-paced speech that come with it. This will train your ears to process English at a natural speed, so when you talk to native speakers, you won't feel lost or anxious. I want you to remember this. Fluency is not about speaking fast, it's about sounding natural. Native speakers don't think about grammar every time they talk. They speak from habit, from experience. And that's what we're building here, a habit of listening deeply and responding naturally. So as you go through this session, make sure you're in a quiet space where you can really focus. If you can, wear headphones. They'll help you catch the small details in pronunciation and tone that make a huge difference. Try to listen more than once. The first time, just enjoy it. The second time, start noticing the patterns, the linking sounds, the contractions, the rising and falling tones. And the third time, start speaking along. That's when you'll really start to notice a change in your fluency. One thing I really want you to take away from this practice is confidence. So many advanced English learners understand English perfectly but still feel shy or hesitant to speak. They worry about sounding strange, or making mistakes. But let me tell you something, even native speakers make mistakes all the time. What matters more is your ability to keep the conversation flowing. Fluency isn't about perfection, it's about connection. So today, as you listen and repeat, I want you to focus on connecting with the words, with the rhythm, with the emotion behind the voice. Let the sound of English become familiar to you, like music. The more you expose yourself to it, the more your own speech will start to flow naturally. And don't forget, this is 2025. English today is more global and dynamic than ever. People from every corner of the world are speaking it, mixing accents, cultures, and expressions. That means there's no single, perfect, accent or one right way to sound fluent. The goal is to sound clear, confident, and authentic, like you, but in English. So, are you ready? Take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and get ready to challenge yourself. In the next part, we'll start diving into advanced listening examples, full of real-life conversations, natural expressions, and tone training that will shape your fluency. Stay tuned, stay focused, and let's make 2025 the year you finally sound fluent and confident in English. Alright, welcome to part 2. Now that you're warmed up and ready, let's move into the heart of today's session, advanced English listening for real fluency. This is where the real transformation begins. As you listen today, I want you to pay attention to something deeper than just vocabulary or grammar. Focus on how English feels when it's spoken naturally. Every language has a rhythm, a flow, almost like music, and English is no exception. If you can tune your ear to that rhythm, your speaking will start to sound smoother and more natural without you even trying. Think about the way native speakers talk in movies or in everyday life. Their words don't sound robotic. They blend, stretch, and connect. For example, a native speaker doesn't usually say, "What are you doing?" They say, "What you doing?" Or instead of, "I am going to," they might say, "I'm gonna." These small changes may seem unimportant, but they are what make your English sound alive, and understanding them is key to sounding fluent. So, as we move through this part, listen carefully to those connected sounds. Try to repeat them exactly as you hear them. Don't worry about grammar right now. This is not a grammar test. This is ear training. When you repeat with the right tone and rhythm, you're teaching your brain to process English like a native speaker does. Another thing to notice is intonation, the rise and fall of the voice. English speakers don't speak in a flat, monotone way. We use pitch and stress to show emotion, to emphasize meaning, and to make speech sound interesting. For example, listen to the difference between these two sentences. "I can't believe you did that." "I can't believe you did that." Same words, totally different feelings, right? The first one sounds calm, maybe even disappointed, while the second one sounds shocked or amused. That's the power of intonation. When you learn to control it, you don't just speak English, you express yourself. Now, let's talk about natural vocabulary, the kind of phrases that make your English sound fluent in 2025. The world is changing fast, and so is language. New expressions are popping up all the time, especially online. You'll hear people say things like, "That's a vibe," "I'm down for it," or "Let's catch up soon." These are simple, but powerful phrases that make you sound current and confident. During this listening session, you'll hear a lot of these expressions in context. When you do, pause for a moment and repeat them out loud. Try to copy the speed and tone of the speaker. Remember, repetition is mastery. You're not just memorizing words, you're internalizing sound patterns. Here's another tip. Pay attention to pauses. Fluent speakers don't rush through every sentence. They pause at the right moments to let their thoughts breathe. For example, honestly, I didn't expect that. You know what? Let's give it a try. Notice those small pauses. They make speech sound natural and confident. Silence, when used well, is part of fluency too. As you continue listening, imagine yourself in real conversations. Picture yourself at work, in a meeting, or chatting with friends. Ask yourself, how would I respond here? Then actually say it out loud. The more you imagine real-life situations, the more comfortable you'll become when those moments actually happen. Something else that often separates advanced learners from fluent speakers is emotion. Fluent English speakers don't just say words, they feel them. When they say, "That's amazing," they sound amazed. When they say, "I'm really sorry," they sound genuinely sorry. So, when you practice today, don't just focus on pronunciation, focus on expression. Let your voice reflect what you mean. That's what makes communication powerful. Another challenge you'll face in advanced listening is speed. Native speakers talk fast, sometimes very fast. But don't panic. You don't have to understand every single word. Focus on catching the key ideas, the tone, and the structure of what's being said. Over time, your ears will automatically start filling in the details. It's like tuning an instrument. The more you practice, the sharper your listening becomes. Also, notice how English speakers use linking words like "so," "actually," "basically," "you know," or "I mean." These aren't filler words, they're rhythm markers. They give your speech a natural flow and help you sound spontaneous. Try using them when you speak. Just don't overdo it. A little goes a long way. By now, you should be feeling more tuned in, more aware of how English sounds. This awareness is the foundation of fluency. Remember, language learning is not just mental, it's physical. Your ears, tongue, and voice are all part of the process. So as you listen and repeat, move your mouth the way native speakers do. Stretch those vowel sounds, connect those consonants, and let the rhythm guide you. In the next part, we'll bring everything together. You'll test your listening and speaking skills with a real-life fluency challenge that will push your English to the next level. So stay focused, stay confident, and keep that energy up, because the more you listen, the more fluent you'll sound.